What's a good activity for 100-degree weather? Heat wave. That's right. Let's go refinish a dresser. Of course. There's no better hobby than standing out in 100-degree heat for 3 days on 4th of July weekend to refinish my dresser. Now, this is a dresser I have had since I was a little girl. That's right. I've had one dresser my whole entire life and never have changed. And yes, it has looked this bad my whole life. Not because my parents hate me or something, but because, we live in this thing called the poor, and thus we do not buy new furniture all of the time. Now, I was a little girl and I stuck stickers all over it, so I really didn't care as a kid, frankly. All this weird patching you see here is from a oil diffuser thing that spilled all over the thing, but yeah, anyways. It's time to sand away a large portion of my childhood, is what it feels like, even though this thing looked bad. Anyways, I'll leave you guys to the sanding. So this is the next part of the progress where we are filling up the second drawer pull hole, because all mine are knobs in one hole. Look at all this paint dust, all this nasty paint dust. And then this is the whole process. You put wood glue, you hammer it in, you saw it off, and then you sand it later on. It was extremely hot out here. We had 2 fans going the whole time and we were just dying. But look at this hot baby boy. He got to come out whenever we weren't sanding. Just look at him. Ugh. So cute. But this is again and again, we were doing this because there were 4 drawers in total that this needed to be done to. This was a better, me showing you what we were actually doing, which is you put the wood glue in the hole and then you put the thing in. You make sure it doesn't go too far through, but just far enough. And then you cut it off and you sand the whole thing. Luckily, this glue only takes about an hour to dry, and it's also boiling hot outside, so it dried really quick. But there were a lot of little random of these guys. They're not random. They're from a 2-person drawer pull, but I only wanted 1 knob on each drawer, so. Except for the drawers that have 2 knobs, but that's because it's like a whole design choice. Now, you'll notice a piece on this sander that was not there before. This is because I am just a girl, Your Honor, and I had no idea what I was doing. He handed me a sander and said, go sand. So I did exactly what I was told to do. I went and sanded. Anyways, but there's a whole lot of sanding process. We did 2 different grits. And you just sand and sand until the shiny comes off. And also you wet rag every time you're finished sanding. Then let it dry before you go on to the next area. But this is because we were doing so many different rounds of sanding. Now, the goal here is not for us to get all the paint off, because my great-grandmother, who used to own this piece, had horrible white paint in a dream, and she white painted everything in her house that she had her hands on. So we're never going to be able to get it back to its original wood finish, unfortunately. So we just decided to sand and paint, because this thing, as stated previously, has the badness you see in it is how it was my whole life. Because I was a little girl and I stuck stickers all over to it and tape and every other thing. I never really cared. I was always happy with my little furniture piece. It does actually have a mirror that goes on the back that I don't have featured in this video because I decided to take it down but keep it with the piece. And this is just a whole lot more sanding. All of the sanding. While my father's scraping that bottom piece down there. Because any place where the paint would just pop up, we were just using this, as you're seeing here. Some of the paint just decided, nah, we ain't paint no more, and disappeared. Because my great-grandmother, who decided to paint this piece, was not using furniture paint, nor is she using any of the proper processing to painting anything. It's just literally when you take something and go, let's throw some white paint on that. So yeah, that's what she did. And in between each of the sandings, we were going through and blowing off the deck because, you know, paint everywhere, constant paint. It's like that meme, must paint from South Park. That's how my great grandmother must have felt about furniture. She was a sweet person, but she's just paint, must paint, everything painted, everything's clean, everything's fresh. All her furniture was like that. Yeah, that woman was a sweetheart, though. But there's a whole lot of us using this lawn blower. Oh my god, Dorothy, it's a leaf blower. Use your eyes and your... Anyways, back to sanding. There is a whole lot of sanding that I did not show because, again, this was hours and 2 days worth of sanding on these pieces. And I'm gonna leave you guys to some sanding. Anyways, look at this pretty moonbeam color, moonish, loony. I don't know. It's pretty. It's nighttimey. It's dreamy. I love it. And yes, we did the proper painting procedure before actually painting the product. I just love this color. It makes me so happy, guys. After looking at this dresser my whole entire life, it kind of looks bad. So, anyways, we did paint these little areas right here, but we didn't paint the whole thing today. Look at this baby. Look at this tiny little baby. His name is Tom now. Everybody say hi to Tom. Tom is precious. He's going to look at us. Look at the baby. Just a little baby. Day 2. It's officially time for more sanding. If you were tired of sanding, we're not done yet. We're going to keep going. I don't film a whole lot more of the sanding process because, sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding. And it's boiling hot, so we have 2 fans going, as previously mentioned. A whole lot of fans going. But just look at this color dried. It's so gorgeous. So we're only doing one small little coat on the bottom, and then everything else get most of the paint. Also, guys, finally we're being sponsored by Not a Soul. This is a credit card trying to steal my soul, but it's okay. I just thought it was funny. Anyways, so we sanded and sanded and sanded until there was no more to sand anymore. And then we found more to sand, because why not? We need to sand some more, boys. And then it was time to use this pressurized thing to blow off all the dust, pressurizedly, and all the cracks and crevices, and then turn around and wipe off everything with a wet cloth. Because you got to keep everything nice and cleaned before painting. So we got everything nice and wiped off. Absolutely everything. And then it's time to blow off this chair because it got covered in some paint. And then it was time to finally get a coat of paint on there. Now you will see a whole lot more of my father doing the painting in this. This is only mainly because this stuff, because of the heat, was drying extremely fast. I'm not a fast painter and I don't work very well under stress. So my father's standing behind me going, paint faster. It needs to be painted. One full smooth coat. We've got this. And I'm like, no, I'm not locked in for this. So he took over a whole lot of the painting process. I did a whole lot of the sanding process. Although the entire dresser process, I'd state he did 60% of the work and I did 40. I give him extra credit because not just because he did like more a little bit, but also because he had knowledge and I don't. Gotta be smart. And yes, we went over that little area right there underneath the lip with a brush. We did a lot of brush coating and I did a whole lot of the painting on the drawers, the first coat, but I didn't film a whole lot of me actually painting because, as previously stated, this stuff dries fast. So anyways, on to painting, you guys. Time for coat 2, everybody. So this is the paint we've been using. I forgot to show you. Sherwin-Williams cabinet and furniture paint in this lovely purple color. It looks so dreamy straight out of the can. Just so dreamy. And further proof that my father knows what he's doing. He knows how to properly wipe off the can with a paint thing. Can you tell this guy knows how to paint? Also, we filled some small blemishes we didn't see with this wood filler stuff before coat 2. And yes, my father did all of coat 2 because coat 1 was very uneven because I don't know how to paint. I can paint a wall, but apparently I cannot paint a dresser. Do not trust me to paint your dresser. I'll do a bad job. But he does a good job because he is good at this. Also, if you need to clean up this paint, just use a wet rag and water and it gets right rid of it. So, on to more painting. Day 3. So this is the state of all my crap. Also, it's 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Although this is posted way after 4th of July. But anyways, I decided to do a little bit of glitter on the face because I wasn't going to anything. But you know, hey, it's happy birthday, America. These are the drawer pulls I picked. They're antique brass colored. Funny enough, they were the cheapest ones in the store, which is hilarious to me and to my father because I usually have an eye for the most expensive thing. So me picking the cheapest drawer pull in a Lowe's was a rare sight. Now it's time to get on to the cleaning and waxing part. Now, we did this one little area here and here to get these all nice and waxy before we actually realized that we should clean off everything else, like all the drawers and stuff. So we ended up stopping and only doing the one drawer slack at the bottom and then doing all these slides on the inside with the wax before we went over to washing it with Murphy's oil soap. So my father and I both have gloves on because we were also doing waxing like right after. It's like a whole thing, but stuff dries fast out here. So we gave everything a good wash down on the insides. Don't wash the paint. I'm going to remind you guys, do not wash the paint directly after painting. Only on exposed wood should you be cleaning with Murphy oil soap after painting. We didn't touch any areas that had paint. Disclaimer. But we wiped absolutely everything down from all that nasty dust and everything. But it's a whole lot of cleaning, so enjoy the cleaning, you guys. Back with some nice dry drawers. We left them in the sun for about an hour, and it's 105 out today, so it's heat exhaustion level, guys. Then we took some Howard's feed and wax, and we waxed the insides and slacks of all the drawers. The slacks got a heavier waxing than the inside because you want to really buff this stuff out on the inside where it touches clothing or anything else that it may touch. Just because, well, it can cause like damage and stuff to clothes. So you'll see us buff it really fine in here. But there's a whole lot of buffing these drawers, so I'll leave you guys to that. And this is my beautiful baby girl. Doesn't she look so much better? She just does. She's so pretty. And immediately after, I got back to work with putting all my nonsense back on top of it. This is the Bible verse of the week. Love you guys. Goodbye.